the art is super important. As like a person who's been involved in filmmaking and stuff, the idea of show don't tell. Like humans are narrative driven creatures. There's the amount of people who are really interested in theory is very small. So I definitely think that we got to figure out ways to tell compelling stories and to show people. I especially think about that in terms of like trying to make people understand the kind of revolutionary movement that we want to do and the kind of world that we would like to move into. I think one of the biggest problems with ever trying to explain any of that is that people will always think about whatever kind of suggestions you're going to make about how things would be in a different kind of society in terms of the current society and capitalism. They're like, why would anybody do that if you're not going to pay them or, something like this? And you kind of have to, you could tell them, but I think if you made like a movie or something like that, that like immersed people in the world and they saw why and how it works, that's way more powerful than,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I think that especially artistic media compels people to suspend their disbelief in a way that, they just, a lot like people who are interested in theory often have a talent for suspending disbelief in order to entertain new ideas. But the average person, there's a sense of, well, how the status quo is kind of here and it's kind of working, and there's a sense of like, you got to have a pretty good reason to want to change things. Whereas if you can get someone to engage with a movie or a story or piece of art, piece of music, and that kind of thing inherently, it's like a switch goes off inside us and we just put all the normal things of the world aside in order to engage with that story. And if it really sucks us in and it has a real vision for how the world could be, that often overrides a lot of those sort of, but why sort of, that kind of, what would you call it, inertia of the status quo.
yeah, absolutely.